Good morning, everybody. It is September 13th, 8:10 a.m. Welcome to the channel. I'm probably going to have to get off shortly after the CPI data is released. So there's not tons of little nuances we can read into market this morning because once that number comes out, there's going to be a lot of volatility and will probably break a lot of technical. It will break a lot of technical TA and stuff like that. So which is normal. That's supposed to happen. Okay. So without further ado, my name's Steven Gonzalez. Welcome to my channel. We use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the market along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, as well as the most traded price of the rolling week and the rolling month. Just basically, you find structure in the market, and price action is really hard to watch and not get emotional about it. And the structure kind of helps you not get emotional. Don't get me wrong, it still happens to me sometimes. But structure is really what keeps you grounded. Okay? You could always subscribe, set an alert for my channel. Alright? If you like what you see, you could always give me a thumbs up. And you can also follow me on social media on Twitter or X. I have to change that, I guess, now to @Gonzo719. All right. So let's just get into the watch list of futures. I mean, again, take it with a grain of salt where they're at right now, but we'll just look at them anyway. All right. So we got VIX. VIX is up 0.7%, 0.70%. Okay. Bitcoin 0.57, crude's up 0.43, Ether 0.28, Russell's up 0.18, dollars up 0.10, Nasdaq, flat basically up 0.015, ES flat, 10-year yield hasn't reported yet, and let's look at this. Okay, let's look at this. So we got the Dow that's slightly down the flat, gold is slightly down 0.11, bonds are being sold. Okay, silver is down 1.06%. That's the volatile metal. Okay, so we have that. Now let's get into what stocks are doing. Again, a little bit of a grain of salt of what's going on right now. Okay, but we have Tesla leading the pack, up 0.95, followed by Netflix, followed by Coin. Okay, do we have some laggards? I would say Baba, right? Down 0.57. Let's see if there's some news here. Not really. I did see that somebody talked about China going into a crash. So China's just not doing good economically right now. Um, let's look at top sector stocks, okay? So we got Chevron, Qualcomm, Exxon leading the pack. Roblox down 4.14%. I didn't really see any news on Roblox, but that's that's down pretty decent there. Maybe I'm missing something. Um, anyway, let's get into sectors. Sectors, we are energy is a leader, followed by financial discretionary, and there's really no laggard today. Now again, we're waiting for the CPI to drop. Okay, that's really what's on today's menu today. Okay, uh, we could get into that now just to look at the what they're expecting. Okay, so and let's look at that. So now I've been talking about it on my channel the last couple months. I said watch CPI year over year rise because of crude. Now crude's at $89 a barrel right now. Okay, it's been rising and rising and rising. That's going to push up the core inflation headline number, okay, which is here. So you can see previously, we're going to look at this one. So previously it was 3.2. They're expecting a consensus of 3.6 today. So that's going to rise due to gas, oil, right? So that's going to go up, right? But if you look at the core, previously it was 4.7, all right? They're expecting 4.3. So they're expecting core to go down, but headline to go up. Okay, so that's going to be very interesting, right? Because the Fed looks at core because you strip out food and energy. So it's going to be very interesting. Of like, core goes down, but the year over, the headline goes up. So it's going to be very interesting to see what plays out there. Okay. What else do we have going on here? CPI data. Apple had their event yesterday. Um, just trying to see what I can show you guys. All right, so we're talking about Saudi oil cuts threaten a surge in price volatility. Let's see here. We got U.S. equity future with little changes. Traders awaited inflation data to see if policymakers would make interest rates higher for longer. Um, just trying to see certain things that I saw this morning. I did see some. Um, I did see some news with China electric vehicles. I did see news of that this morning that they're all down. Now let me look at that. I can probably pull that up here and show you where I saw that. They were down pre-market here. Just give me a sec while I see that. Here it is. So pre-market, XPEV, NEO, and LI. It's sorry, it's not China. It's EU starts anti-subsidy investigation into e-cars from China. So that's taken down these China electric vehicles. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then you got a price target cut. Goldman Sachs cut the target price of Apple uh, 220 from 216 to 216 from 222. So that's interesting. All right. But then, of course, Apple right here got another price target cut from Bank of America. But then Wedbush raises the price target of Apple. So it's pretty interesting here, right? Now, here's something interesting, could have to do with Tesla. It says Tesla, a billionaire investor, Ron Barron, says Tesla will be up 25 to 30% up in units. It also says Tesla, billionaire investor Ron Barron says Tesla will be 4 to 5 times bigger in the next 7 years. And then American Airlines shares are down 3% pre-market after the company trims Q3 operating margin. So they're down pre-market. Okay. And these are just the numbers that headline and core, what the big banks are looking at. 3.7, 3.6 for the headline and 4.3 of the core. So that's what we're looking for at 8:30, which comes out in 10 minutes. Okay. Now we can get into some really quickly get into daily chart here. And really quick quickly go over this. Okay, I'm going to go over also an hourly chart in the futures. Okay, but if we got the SPY just in this tangled 50-day moving average, 9 EMA daily, holding a 20 simple moving average, right? We're within last week, we're within last month, pretty much kind of back to balance, right? Pretty much back to balance. It's just waiting for this number. It's kind of queued up for this number. Okay, cues. Okay, now there was a downtrend that we broke. Okay, but yesterday we went right back. Where did we close? At the 50-day moving average. Okay, still within last week, still within last month. Okay, so same thing. Now, something important happened in the NASDAQ futures. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys that in a second about some structure that happened. Okay, that's very important. All right, so right at the 50, above the 20, all right, that's what we're looking at as far as the daily charts. Okay, so that was that. Okay, we're 9 minutes away from the news drop. Okay, we will go to that and we will look at the futures. Okay, now what I want to show you guys in futures, especially in the NASDAQ, but we'll go look at the ES first. Okay, very important structure to look at here. All right, very important structure to look at. All right, so what am I seeing here, right? So what do I have here? I don't know why this is not working. All right, I have to kill that marker. Give me a sec. All right, now we should have it. Okay, so what I want to show you guys in the hourly chart is this Fibonacci from this low down to here, right? This is the 50% Fibonacci, right? 45.39. Well, look at the resistance, the resistance, the resistance. Now look when the market ripped higher yesterday, look where it went. Right at the 50% Fibonacci. And then it sold off, right? And we're holding down here. Where are we here? This is the most traded price of the month. This is the most traded price of the week. Okay? And it actually broke this uptrend yesterday. I talked about that, right? So you can see, I mean, I'm not big into like really looking at patterns, but you can see a head and shoulders possibly forming here and like a neckline here. Okay, that's one thing to look at, but that's very important level, right? And we're right at the most traded price of the month. Okay, most traded price of the week. So it'll be very interesting. Okay, when you have these together like this, and why are they together, right? They're together, and we could zoom out here to we could even go out to a 12. Let's go out to an 8-hour chart. Really get the scheme of what's going on here. Okay, we could zoom in here. All right, so this is the most traded price of over the last month, right? So what we have here is we went lower high, lower high, lower high, right? And we went all the way down here, and then we made a lot higher lows, right? And then we have this resistance here around 4,600, let's say, right? And then we dropped. Then we made a swing high and we dropped. And we're just in the middle of all these moving averages, right? But we're really just, you know, hanging out in this web here, right? So let's just see a volume profile from here. So you can see the most traded price, the most volume has been right here, right? So that's why this is really important, okay, to look at it like that. I don't have to put this on there, I already know that. But, okay. Now, so 50% Fibonacci is a very important level. Now, this could explode. What I'm expecting to see here is because the concentration is so much here with volume, this is setting up for the CPI to really explode this way or this way. And it's just interesting because the core is going to go down and headline's going to go up. And so that's very, very interesting. Okay. So let's move on from there and look at the NASDAQ, which I really want to show you guys of what's been happening in the NASDAQ. Okay. Very important level. All right. So let's back out into a 12-hour chart to show you guys this NASDAQ. Okay. I want to show you something very, very important. Okay. We could even zoom in a little bit. Okay, this is why this is so important. What just happened now, this is really huge level now. 15571 is the most traded price, okay, of the week, of the month, and of this year. This level right here is the most traded, you heard me, is the most traded price of this year. This month, the last week. Huge level. So you could get a pretty explosive move off of this level, this way or this way. It's basically the line in the sand for the NASDAQ. Okay? Very, very important level. Okay, if we pound into this just on an hourly, you can see also that the 50% Fibonacci level here. Now just look at this level. See that? They're all there. The most traded price of the year, the most traded price of yesterday. It's just crazy. Okay? What you can see here is, what did we do yesterday? Look, came down, right? Came up to the 50% Fibonacci again, had resistance, went under this big level, and now we're holding under this big level. Okay? So, you know, it's just a very, very important level. So, zoom out here a little bit. Do we go down to this swing low? I mean, we need to take this out. In order for this market to take a leg lower, you need to take this out. All right, you're below this big level. Now, of course, with this volatility, you could crush and go this way. But I don't know. But it's just a very, very important level in the NASDAQ. Okay? Very, very important. 15571. Just a monster, monster level. And let's just go here. We'll go back to an hourly chart. That news is dropping. Okay? We will go to it. As soon as it drops, it's dropping in 20 seconds. And we'll watch together to see what happens. I'm very curious what's going to happen with these numbers when they drop. It should just dropped. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So we have core inflation, which was consensus was 4.3. It came out at 4.3. That's in line. Now, here's the big one. Year over year, the headline number is hotter than expected, only by zero point 0.1, but it is hotter. Okay. So that is sending the market down initially. That's the only thing that came in hotter was the year over year. Okay. So it's popped into this demand zone that I had written here. You could see it's getting a little pop here. But remember, this is the most traded price of the month. If it goes above this, expect a big move higher. Okay. If you hang out below here, so we have to see what this volatility does. Okay. So I would tilt toward this being on the little bit of the bearish side right now. Okay, I would say it's a little bit more on the bearish side just because the number of the headline was hotter than expected. The core inflation came in line as expected. Okay. Let me see if any other news drop with it. Um, Not really. Okay, so that's what we're doing what we're seeing right now. Now, um, based on, let's just look at futures really quickly. We're red. Okay. 10-year yield is to 4.3. Okay. Now, what else do we have? We have Russell's down, Russell's flat, the Dow's down, ES is down 0.23, right? Nasdaq's down 0.54, bonds are down 0.6, silver's going down, right? Dollar is kind of moving up. That's what's happening there. Let's look at stocks, right? Tesla's lost its gains, and now the biggest loser on the board is Nvidia, Amazon, AMD. Okay. We can take a look at sectors real quick. What happened in sectors? Energy still the leader. The loser right now is technology. What's this? The largest weight in the S&P 500. Okay. So back to the chart. Remember, we popped into this demand zone. Okay. You need to hold under this level, the most traded price of the month. Okay. Let's look at what the Nasdaq's doing. Okay, Nasdaq broke this demand zone, hit the 20-day simple moving average right here. So this demand zone is now broken. We'll get rid of that. We're holding underneath this monster level like I talked about. Okay, you're getting some wick. It almost went into this demand zone here. Pretty much I would say it did. I mean, that's only like a tick. All right, and you got this consolidation here. Now, if you break this consolidation, you're going to make it up to here. Like I said, if you crack this and hold this, we could make a move higher. If we stay below it, chances are we go lower. All right. All right, so let's go back to the ES. I mean, you can see in my lower left screen the relative volume is very, very, very high. I mean, I rolled over the contract, so here's ES, holding under the most traded price of the month, okay? Now let's, real quickly, we can look at the volume profiles. I could just show you side by side. Let me show you here before I take off here. We can just look at what the market is doing, and as far as the market profile here. Okay. We can spread this out. So, like I said, important levels are right here, right? Price is underneath these big levels. If you traverse these levels, you're going to go higher, okay? If these levels hold, we push, kind of hope, and then go down, you're going to break out that way, okay? Let's look at the NASDAQ, how that looks. Here's that big level I talked about, right? Here's the line in the sand for the NASDAQ, right here. Huge level, okay? You hold under it. Now, in order for us to move lower, I believe we need to move towards it and get a rejection in order to then break down lower. However, for a buyer, you break this level, hold it, it could be the breakout higher, okay? Now, this could turn out to be a nothing burger, and if the market opens up here, you're still going to make a move here or here, but it might not be a breakout, okay? We also have PPI coming out as well, all right? So, right now, like I said, there's not much edge into this. You need to go to the edge, no pun intended, edge to have an edge, all right? Because otherwise, you're going to be in this choppy. If this does not break this level, then it's like a normal day in the market. If this volatility can't push through this, then it's a normal day in the market, and you look at it like, hey, if you can hold above it, you got to be thinking that we're going to go higher, maybe not break out, right? All right, so that's really what I'm looking at. You need to see how this plays out. Okay, we're right here at the most traded price of the month, and that's no mistake here. That's why these levels are on my chart. So the ES is starting to creep up. You have a bunch of activity here. Like I said, it could definitely punch up here, but it needs to take out the most traded price of the week. But we're in the middle of the model here. It's not a lot of edge. It could be choppy. Okay. So I think that's it for today. Okay. So subscribe if you haven't already. Set an alert. Gotta let this market play out. Okay. If you like what you saw, please give me a like. Obviously now I have to change. I keep forgetting to change. It's not even called Twitter anymore. It's X, so I have to change this logo. But anyway, you can follow me on Twitter or X at Gonzo719. Okay, so that's it for me today. All right, you guys got these big levels. That's the structure I'm looking at. There's not a lot of nuance right now. It's what do we do with these big levels? Do we hold above them? Do we go below them? Do we break out, or is this turn out to be a nothing burger? All right, that's what we're looking at today. Okay, so play those edges. All right, everybody, have a good day, and I'll most likely see you guys tomorrow.